Madrid 1, the Winery 2, Barcelona 3, Valencia 4. In that order, the 4 best stops. And it was, you could probably go 1A and 1B with those top 2, but I'll give the nod to Madrid because the restaurants were really good. And I took Luka Doncic advice, and a restaurant called 10 Con 10 that was one of his favorites when he was in Madrid. It is really good. And so great trip, maybe as good, well, not maybe, it was the best trip we've been on, and that I've been on personally. Everything went smooth. We had one little delay when we went to Dallas, and you know, Derek got a little sweaty and a little perspiration sitting on the airport in 110-degree heat. But it goes to show you his softness and lack of toughness. Yeah, I mean, it's we a little sloppy the first game, which was to be expected. We practiced on the 3rd. Got there, left the 4th, got there the 5th, and then immediately play. And a little jet lag, a little tired, a little sloppy. We had a hard time just catching the ball in the first half of that game. But we got better as every game went on. There were a lot of positives. We went over there with a real simple mindset, play really hard, try to stay within the real basic fundamental things we had in offensively, try to play out of those concepts, offensive rebound, and be really good in our ball screen coverage. We knew we would get challenged in that area. I think we did those things. We accomplished all of those things at a very high clip. The competition obviously was not Big Ten caliber competition, but again, you're playing against pros, guys who are older, more mature, and so they gave us some very different looks. But we accomplished what we needed to. I felt really good about equal minutes. One of the things we wanted to try to do when we went over there was you know, we know what Terrence Shannon can do. We know what some of the veterans can do, but you know, seeing different lineups, seeing different combinations, and then, you know, really trying to get those new guys more minutes and have them be productive. Obviously, we were without Marcus. Marcus never played. Has the hamstring issue. He's the only one that I felt bad for. We didn't get a great look. Even really this summer, it's kind of up and down with him fighting that hamstring. So getting him healthy is a big key for us. But thought you know, our freshmen were really good. Draven didn't shoot it great, but it's really hard to judge shooting over there. One, it's a different ball, and secondly, we didn't practice any days in between. So you go a couple of days without touching a basketball, and for some shooters that's really hard. But Draven, I thought, was fantastic. You know, he's got some things, obviously, that he made mistakes with. I thought Amani Hansberry was outstanding. Amani just kept the game simple, did what we asked to do, and was very, very efficient in everything he did. So I felt great about those two guys and getting them a lot of minutes. And then I thought that you know, all of our veterans were solid and had moments. We didn't have to play Terrence a ton. I told him that going in. The second game, I think he had 23 or 25 and 12 or 13 minutes, and you know, that's being pretty efficient. So you know, all in all, it's a great thumbnail sketch of what we can dive into. We're breaking all the analytics down. Have been. in all 3 games, and lineups and personnel and how we scored and how we got stops, and we'll use that as kind of a footprint as we head into to fall.
You mentioned looking at specific combos, lineups, any that you really liked?
You know, there's not one in particular. I think we had moments where, you know, one that just jumps out defensively. You know, we had Ty at the point, Terrence at 2. We had Luke at the 3, Quincy, and Coleman at the 5. And you know, defensively, that team was pretty imposing. You know, we had another one where we had, you know, Sincere at the 2, slid Terrence to the 3, and had Luke at the 4 and Dane at the 5, and they were equally as good defensively. So, you know, it's a lot of options there. You know, we played a little bit of small ball, sliding Quincy to the 5 some. Yeah, you know, I think we've got a lot of things to play with, and a lot of things to continue to grow and learn from.
Is Dane maybe your most consistent guy during the trip? I mean,
depends how you define that. If you want to define it by numbers, you know, I think that you know, in certain ways, yes. You know, in certain ways, I thought Ty was. I thought that, you know, I thought our guards did a really good job. Our assisted turnover rate from them was really good. You know, Dane turned it over too much. You know, and wasn't as effective in his post-ups as what we're accustomed to. I thought, you know, from an execution standpoint, we had a lot of guys that were really consistent. I thought that, you know, that's one of the things that hurt us last year was playing in too much freedom and breaking away, and it led to a ton of turnovers for us. And that's an area we've got to shore up for sure. But I thought our guards did a really good job of that. Had a lot of good guys. A lot of guys do a lot of good things.
What'd you see from Justin Harmon? Just looking at the box scores, looks like he was pretty consistent.
He was. You know, Justin's a guy that is a very, very capable scorer. He didn't shoot the ball well. He was a 36% three-point shooter last year, and didn't have as much success shooting it from the 3. Would have had some big games. The ball finds Justin. He just is always in the right spot. The ball finds him. That's a knack. That doesn't happen for everybody. He's always in the right position. He had his hands and came up with loose balls and steals, and you know, defensively, I think he's got a chance to be an elite defender. He's continuing to grow there and learn. But you know, at his size, he's a very good offensive rebounder. And like I said, the ball just ends up in his hands, and that's a unique quality to have, and I thought he played great.
The schedule out, how do you feel about being home for all of November?
It's nice. I hope our fans enjoy it. Yeah, I think that Joey Biggs does an unbelievable job putting the schedule together. Obviously, we get the Gavitt games against a very, very good Marquette team. I think we've tried purposely to go out and get really, really good mid-majors and get them at home. Obviously, having our multi-team event as a home event this year is great. You look back being in the Jimmy V, what an honor that is. Not just the opponent being Florida Atlantic, a Final Four team with everybody back, how good they're going to be, but the opportunity to go back to New York City and the opportunity to do it for such a great cause. So, you know, road trip to Tennessee. They'll return that game in a year. I'm really excited about that series. You know, Rick's one of the Hall of Fame type coaches out there that has had success and will be a great challenge as we head into the Big Ten play. So love our schedule. I think it's great for our fans. I love playing in State Farm Center in front of our fans, and we can hopefully give them a great season of games in State Farm Center. Obviously the Big Ten schedule, we might have the toughest schedule. You know, I think our dual 2-game group of teams we play this year is obviously very challenging, and the league will be better than it's ever been.
As you mentioned, two guys in Justin and Dre that played well but didn't shoot it well. How do you evaluate shooting for those games?
I'm more. That's not it. Playing over there, it's really hard because, again, you don't practice. You know, some guys are rhythm shooters and need shots every day. One of the best shooters I've ever coached was a young man at Oklahoma State, Phil Forte. I think he's a Big 12's all-time leading three-point shooter. And we would go to, he'd get out of his rhythm and not shoot shots every day. We'd go to Maui, and he's looking for an outdoor court because he needed to get his reps up. So a big part of that is just the comfort of guys getting in their routines. You're not in a routine over there, but the ball's different. So I think we're going to be a good shooting team. We got good shots, and you know, had some go in and out. And Luke didn't shoot it particularly well, and we all know he's a really good shooter, but Luke needs his reps and his routine. Marcus is one of our best shooters, and you know, didn't suit up. So felt good about it, and felt good about the shots we got. We took, you know, we were down last year. 42% of our shots were threes. We got that down this year over there anyway. We took 32% of them as threes. So that's more normal to where we would like to be to have extremely efficient offense.
Or the second chance points, is that something this team's gonna have to hang its hat on?
Last year was abnormal. That's what my teams always hang their hat on, is second chance points. And we want to be a terrific offensive rebounding team. And again, it's, I've said it many times, our whole philosophy is built around how do you win when the ball doesn't go in. And second chance points, offensive rebounding, playing really hard guarding, scoring under 7 seconds, when you don't have to face a set defense, those are all integral parts of our foundation and our culture, and we have to get back to that. We did that at a very high level. We spent a ton of time in our 10 practices working on that and running. So we'll continue to emphasize that as we go in the fall.
You guys turn people over a lot. Are you looking to be more disruptive defensively, or is that just
probably more competition based? I think we're trying to be very sound in what we do defensively. I think our ball screen coverage was really, really good. We gave up too many threes over there. That's abnormal for us. That's one thing we don't want to do. But we do have length. We do have quickness. We've got lineups where we can put a lot of size out there. And, you know, Ty, Terrence, that court shrinks pretty quick with that type of size. So, but again, probably more of the competition, Derek, than it was us forcing that.
Nico got his first run against somebody else probably in a while. Just what do you think about him?
He's terrific. Nico's very, very gifted on the offensive end. And the ball moves with him. He's an elite passer. He's elite in pick and rolls. We had a great, he had some great spurts with Amani. In particular, Amani's a terrific screener and has an uncanny ability to get out of them. He's got very good hands. Nico made threes, made a couple when they were there and open. You know, he's got to continue to work defensively. and grow on that end. But I felt had some unknown about him, going in. Felt great coming out in terms of with his play.
I guess from a team bonding standpoint, what were some cool things you guys got to do off the court and just having the guys be together that long?
Yeah, and I think it's one of the things that, you take unbelievable tours, you see unbelievable things, and whether it's something simple as riding on a high-speed train, or whether it's something as going on jet skis. You're out on the Mediterranean on a jet ski. Whether it's guys just laying and hanging by the pool in Valencia. We had an incredible team dinner. We had a huge group of donors go there, and just seeing guys with hanging out and coaches hanging out, and it was fun. It was fun to see our assistant coaches coach. It was fun to just be around players in a different light, and all of that stuff is so incredible. I kind of got a saying, we went over there as a team, and hopefully we came back as a family, and that's something that you guys were well-mannered and handled themselves and had fun and had the opportunity to have fun and again and see Spain, pretty cool.
I mean, did you get any maybe different perspective on maybe what your team could be just on your role in Spain, just being more an observer than active coach?
Yeah, and again, it was we'll figure out the X's and the O's. Right? And when you had a lot of new guys, it was more about just establishing our culture, us, and how we wanted to do things. And I truly wanted to see guys try to play fast. I wanted to see guys not make mistakes defensively. I wanted to see guys offensive rebound and take things that we'd really worked on and play in that form and play in that way. And we did that. I told the coaches, I said, you can make any substitutions other than AJ Red, who started the first day because he had the highest winning percentage in all of our competitions throughout the summer. And AJ can play; he's a good player. But it was just a matter of just kind of getting a feel for it and not having to coach or worry about a substitution. Let somebody else do all that stuff. And I've got a notebook full of notes, and that's what I did during the games was go back through that now and okay, here's some tendencies and here's some things I liked and didn't like, and I think that's a real benefit for me to be able to enjoy that perspective of it.
Coleman Hawkins kind of played on the ball quite a bit last year. Do you see him operating in a little bit different space?
Yes,
this year?
a lot. I think I think that we've got to get not that our guard play was deficient last year. I just think we're really good at that spot. I think Ty's there. I think we can do some different things. I think Coleman is gives us tremendous versatility because he can make plays, he can make shots. He got going in one game over there, and against the drop coverage, he made 3 threes and does that as a 5-man. Coleman's one of the outstanding defenders in all of the country in college basketball because he can guard 5 positions. When he's making shots and not having to do too much, and he was, I think, plus 21 in the first half of the second game, and all he did was rim run, catch lobs, and shoot threes, and not have to be a playmaker. And we've got enough guys who can make plays.
Has Marcus's sort of maybe inconsistent availability this summer has it impacted him or anything?
No, he's an extremely hard worker. It's unfortunate, I go back a few years, and Thomas Walkup before his senior year had the same thing and didn't do anything in the summer, and just had an unbelievable, last campaign. So Mark's been around the block enough to know, and we've got a good enough feel for him. We just didn't see it with live action and live bullets against an opponent. But got a pretty good feel for his versatility and where he can be successful with us.
You came back from Spain and the Big Ten got bigger while you were gone. Just how do you see 18 teams impacting basketball? Because there's clearly football as well.
Yeah, I think there's a tremendous growth opportunities in college basketball. I think there's opportunities for us to, I think we've touched the tip of the iceberg in terms of what college basketball can be. Obviously, you're bringing in two schools with historic traditions. Dana Altman's done an incredible job in his time at Oregon. Final Four run, I think he's won 5 or 6. Dana's a really close friend. I think he's won 5 or 6 championships and tournaments in his run at Oregon. Hop's done an incredible job at Washington, and obviously that's a program that's had great history. So it gets better. There's no doubt about that. I think it's be interesting to see how we shape all of this. I don't know what that's going to look like yet. We're going to have to figure that stuff out here pretty soon. As you know, they're obviously coming in a year or so. Excited, and yet there's some question marks just in terms of what a league will look like with 18 teams, and we'll figure that out. And we got a lot of really smart people, and Tony in our commissioner's chair has been fabulous, and continue to make the Big Ten better in football and basketball.
You mentioned, like I talked to you a month ago, was that it seemed like things were maybe trending towards more Big Ten games in the season. Is that inevitable with more teams, or?
I would think. I think in terms of getting a true champion, it's my personal belief. I don't know where everybody else is with that. I think there's obviously you have to appease your TV partners. They're going to want high quality games. But you've got 18 teams, and a true round robin is 34 games. Well, we're obviously not going to do that. And yet you want as true a champion as you can get. What that looks like, I don't know whether we play some, neutral site games in there, and play 3 games in a weekend and to limit travel. I happen to be a fan of that. Meet in 3 different regions of the country, and teams go there and you get 2 or 3 games. So they're neutral site. I don't know what it'll look like. There's been no talk of it yet, and it's just me sitting around thinking, which is probably scary. But I don't know. It'll be a great league, and obviously you could see 14 teams in this league make the NCAA tournament.